a 2x2. So two gentlemen and two ladies taking kids from the band to the bathroom on Fridays until we have chaperones all week. If you have not checked your email or you signed up, and this is from Mrs. Jackman, if you have signed up with an email originally that you no longer have and you fingerprinted prior to 2018, you are required by the county to re-fingerprint. They are waiving the $35 fee, but you have to go in, fill out the volunteer form again, and then go down and be re-fingerprinted, and that would be me. I have to go do that next week. So just so you guys know.
Is that all volunteers for the entire county? It's free this year?
Yes, that's all volunteers for the entire county is free this year. Good question, Mr. York. Yes, that's all volunteers for the county. They waive the $35 fee. So if you're coming due next year, my suggestion is you go do it right now because they're waiving the fee. Right? Right. Oh. Good morning, Kelly. This is Mrs. Hen. She is our new chaperone chair. Woo! Thank you. And I just explained that the front office right now is swamped, and so rather than trying to bombard them this week with chaperones, we're gonna go 2x2 to the bathrooms this week, and then we'll check, I'll show you how to check in the front office. The chaperones, volunteers are registered and ready to go with the county. If you fingerprinted before 2018, you have to, I have to go again, so, okay, me too. Same as babies. Okay, so President's report is we're asking for donations of soda and water for third quarter band. So during third quarter, I'm looking at Mr. Schwindt, not that you guys can see me doing that, but are we having a band, are we having like having, or are bands gonna join us for third quarter right now, or no?
You know, that's a great question. I really should have thought of that before now, but I'm going to say no. We're probably going to keep everybody separate. That's something we don't absolutely have to do. We want to do it, but we don't have to do it, so let's not.
Let's not. Okay, so we're not going to mix bands during third quarter. So what we're asking for is we're asking for Coke, Sprite, root beer, about those three. Any brand will do. So Pepsi's okay. Sierra Mist is Pepsi brand, right? So yes, yes. And root beer, waters, lots and lots and lots of water. So what we do is we give our band members soda and water at third quarter. So any donations can come, looking this on, any donations can come to the orc room and we'll put them in orc storage. You can just bring them right in the orchestra room door and drop them off near Miss On's desk, just not on her desk or under her desk, please. Is that okay? She'll just move it, she's like. Executive committee met because we have to meet once a quarter. And just a few remarks on executive committee. We are going to look at the bylaws just to make sure that we're up to date, and we're going to make a few simple changes. Mrs. Knott is our new secretary for our board. Yay, Mrs. Knott. We kind of drove her in. Thanks, Melissa Jackman, for that. We also discussed the concession stand. We, as the executive board, are going to ask the regular board to vote tonight on mask in the concession stand. We are not allowed to ask people if they're vaccinated or not, and we're not allowed to ask if they've had COVID or not. So I'm going to ask for a vote on masking in the concession stand. If you're in the concession stand and you need to take a break, please feel free to step out. But if you're in the concession stand this Friday, we are asking everyone to please wear a mask. We are handling people's food. It would make me more comfortable if I was buying food and I'm a nurse. I think it will make everybody more comfortable if we're wearing masks. But please, if you need a break, please feel free to step out. So not that you can see everybody, the board, everybody gets a vote. Mr. Eckhoff and I count as one vote, just because we each have a position, but we're one family. We only count for one vote. So the band directors and the chorus director and the orchestra director don't vote on this, but we're just gonna go around and I'm just gonna ask yay or nay on mask in the concession stand. This Friday is where we're gonna start. So Mr. Feaster.
Yay.
Mr. Eckhoff.
I'm married, I don't really have to.
So it's yay. Ms. Davies.
Yay, it's the help.
And yes.
Yes.
Ms. Mark. Yes.
Yes.
Miss. She'll say yes. Okay, thank you. Mrs. Jackman is not here, but I discussed with her earlier and she is a yay vote as well.
Mine is a nay.
You'll put signs up. I can't hear you, Mr.
I
Schwindt.
said mine is a nay, since I'm the one
what do you,
running concessions.
Miss Marnie's talking, but I can't hear her. Can you tell me what she's saying?
let me try something here.
Hold on one second, Miss Marnie.
All right, Ms. Varney, can you try it again?
Yes, my vote is a nay.
Okay.
Since I run concession, I just want that on record.
Yes, we'll go to Miss Marnie's a nay. Thank you, I forgot your.
Ms. Varney, can you talk about why, just so that we all have an idea of what to be aware of when we
It's
get to that?
110 degrees in that concession stand. 110 degrees. People get overheated. They don't get enough water or anything. It's hot. It's hot.
Yes. and we
Now,
did-
yes, if we're prepping food, okay, and they should be allowed to take a break every once in a while, but
Yes, we did talk about the executive board and we asked that we get water out of the cooler and that they also can take a break whenever they need to. We all masked last year in the concession stand, so I'm asking, we're gonna start with this first game and we're gonna see how that goes. And then if we need to, we can always vote again via text or email for the next day. But thank you, and Mrs. Knott is taking notes and she's noting about the heat in the concession stand. And Robert we talked about bringing some big drum fans in. Do you know how many fans we have right now, Mrs. Varney?
We
for
have
the
two.
concession
we
stand?
have the 2 big fans and we have the 1 little fan.
Okay, and Mr. Moore says 2 big fans are in the choir room.
So please take them.
Okay, but I can borrow them. Okay.
Absolutely, yes.
Yes, so he's a yes. And Mr. Cox will see if he can bring his also, and that will give you guys a little bit more ventilation in there. That was the one thing we talked about, was ventilation in there too. But thank you.
I have 4, they're not the barrel fans, but I have 4, like 24-inch high velocity, you've used them in the banner before. Like 4 24-inch high velocities that I can bring up to.
Okay, so that'll give us some more ventilation in there too. But thank you, Mrs. Knott marked down, Jessica, Ms. Barney, exactly what you said also. Okay, moving on. Is Mr. Cox is gonna give the financial report and fall fees.
First off, we just.
good.
Yep.
But you two will have to share one.
That's fine.
That's for Ian and one for Mr. Wallace.
Okay.
Um,
And probably you up, good luck.
so there's one in the minutes.
Oh, you had to share it, Jen, haha.
This is the year end, the one that says 2021 on the top is the year end balance sheet and P&L. And then the other one is just the balance sheet on what's in the accounts right now for year to date, starting July 1st. Okay? So I talked to Ms. Zahn before, and I'm sure she shared, but we need to be really careful until we get some of these funds coming in on spending. You know I'm responsive. If you get a hold of me, we'll get it taken care of, or I'll tell you, needs to hold. We got the magnets today. There are people requesting, like they're saying from their order, change my number from 8 to 9, change my number from 7 to 9. So we started with the 250, depending on our sell-through, when we get below 100, it's about a week turnaround to get the next batch. So, and remember, the ones we sell for $5, where they said buy more than one, we're still making $3 off of that. And if people buy individual ones, we're making $4 off of them. So anyway, so we got to get the cash flow in. The problem is, like when you look at the band orchestra checking, we have upfront costs for concessions, we have upfront costs for t-shirts, all that stuff that we have to spend. So that's why it may look like there's more of a balance there, but the upfront costs may not get, it won't come back immediately. And Jessica is being cautious, on what's being purchased. So if for some reason the games get shut down or anything else, we're not going to be sitting on a ton of inventory. We can always buy more, but we can't suddenly have less. So I know this was mentioned, and I've been kind of mixed on my feelings. Does anybody have any thoughts on, like, when we do the candle fundraiser and stuff, the school is still cash only, correct? Do we want it still, or do we want to do cash on that only to be consistent? Or do we want to accept checks for like the candles, or if we do that and all that? Any input?
I love cash only. I think it's great.
Right.
It's super clean and we're not chasing things down.
Right,
However, and it feels like less and less people are using checks anyway.
right.
We don't have a whole lot out there in the community anyway. So I'm okay with that. I mean, that's my thoughts on it. But y'all are the parents that would be the people buying it.
The other option we could do is, I can't do it on fees because there's just too many, but on individual cases, not for individual candles, but if a parent for the, whatever their kids have sold, if we do the candles, we're gonna come to that later. If they want to do the lump sum on their debit card, if they pay the fee, but that may get complicated as well. Okay, everybody agrees, stay with cash then?
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't need to vote on it then. Okay, because it's the status quo is why we're not voting on it. It's not a change. I need to I already talked to Mr. Orbit a few minutes afterwards just about some of the fees and all that, just some questions I have. Ian, there's still Apple charges showing up on the Chorus account. So it's like $11 and something every single month, and then some other small charges happening on that debit card. So,
Okay, I have no idea what that is, but I'll start.
is there any subscription and then some other little ones that may be tied to one of your 2 Apple accounts? Can you check?
Yeah, I'll definitely check again.
And I can give you the dates if you need me to. I can
Yeah,
email them to you.
I took everything.
So far this month, there's been 3 charges.
It's not, yeah, I mean, I'm not subscribed to anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not either, and then
I don't buy any apps.
Okay.
I don't know when I would have gotten the Chorus debit card to do it.
So it's the old debit card number, so if it was already set up, you see what I'm saying?
Check on that and see what's
If it was already something set up, then it's gonna just continue on, because it's the old debit card.
Is it possible that she's an Apple? So I'm just asking if that's the old card.
That's-
Yeah, we can ask her
That's highly
too, yeah.
possible.
Maybe she's not aware of it, yeah.
Yeah,
So the $11 has been several months in a row around, at the same time,
Okay,
but then there's like $1.99 here and,
okay, well, we can absolutely talk to her. if we have
Okay.
dates and stuff.
yeah. And I don't mind checking with her too, so. I didn't even think about Ms. Orr, so thank you. Amazon Smile, our donation came in like last week. It's up to almost $80 now every quarter. So it continues to climb little by little, that adds up, so we need to encourage everyone to, once we get past the fees and stuff, maybe we can put it in one of the weekly emails. Go ahead.
Just answer my question. I was gonna say, is there a way to put the instructions of how to set up Amazon Smiles in the minutes so that I can share that with our students?
Yes, and it's also on the Terrier Sound front page of the band page, correct? It's on the homepage of our Terrier Sound page as well. But yes, I can get that to you.
I think that's all I had, yeah. That's it, yeah.
Ms. On?
Can you talk to her, or you want me to go over there?
Okay, good luck. See if you see yourself. You're taller than me, so you have to.
Hi, everybody. Orchestra is going really well. Lots of students. There's like all of the orchestras are bigger than they've been in years past. So that's really been a cool thing because I don't think any of us were expecting that coming into this year. So that's been great. Kids are working really hard. They're reading really cool music that goes to every time we meet. What do you need? Music. It's because we're kind of pumping through it right now. So, but I mean, the orchestra kids are doing great, and we're on a push right now with our 3rd block and our 2nd block to put together small ensembles to be able to perform around town. And I'm trying to put together books and of all sorts of different styles of music and for all different types of venues and events and things like that for them to play out on campus, for them to play around the community. And they're really into that and just kind of learning that music and being able to kind of be on call if needed. So that's kind of where orchestra's at. Things are good.
Thank you. Mr. Rohr, would you like to go next?
Or
Okay.
long.
You can, oh, look, you even have your notes with you?
Oh.
Ah, we trained you.
Okay, so choir's going well. Students are really excited to be in the choir department. See Mr. Schwindt's face in front of me both ways. Both the second block and third block are really big. My freshman class is really small. And so one of the things that we're trying to do at this point is do a mentorship with Jackson's middle school choir department, and we're doing a big little program. So that juniors are set up with 8th graders, so that when the 8th graders become freshmen, they have a senior to look up to and have a mentor. At this point, we've only had 2 8th graders. So trying to encourage as many Jackson students as possible to get involved so that we can have bridge the gap better. One of which is Miss Varney's daughter. So I'm excited about that. Talking about lab fees and things and uniforms and all that stuff. So for lab fees, I told students that they are $50 for the year. And then their uniform fee is $20. I cannot charge more than that by the county, even though the dresses are going to cost way more than that. I got my quote from Formal Fashions. The awesome thing about these dresses is that they ship out within 5 business days, so they have a fast turnaround. They also don't need to be dry cleaned, so they can be put in the washing machine, which is awesome. Currently, right now, we're looking at 72 dresses, and that's just making sure that we have just a couple extras in each size, just in case this one doesn't fit this person, and going up. Subtotal being $46.04, with shipping being $368.32, with a total of $4,972.32. Faster that we purchase this, the faster we get the dresses, the faster we can get them hemmed for our concert on October 4th. Choir t-shirts are a front and back. This is also part of their lab fees, which is that $50. They're going to be $7 a piece. They're front and back. Front of it, I don't know if you guys can see it that well in that video. It has the Terrier Sound crest, the circle on it, and it says choir. And at the bottom it says, "Do you even lift, bruh?" And then on the back, I tried to make it look like an AC/DC type of shirt, looking like this. It shows them lifting their soft palate, looking like this. So these are from T-Bone, being $7 a piece. Last year, I was fortunate that Minnie purchased choral tracks for the year, and basically Matthew Curtis runs his own business and caters to a bunch of student choral departments, and he writes rehearsal tracks for them, writes accompaniments for them, so that students are able to listen to tracks and rehearse at home and whatnot. This is really, really important, especially since we don't have e-learning this year. We had it last year and it helped a lot. Now that we don't have e-learning, I don't know how students are going to catch up when they're gone for 2 weeks. So for the year, that's $699. And that also was part of that $50 lab fee that I'm collecting. I also did a sight reading factory account for each student, and that's roughly $2 per student. We're basically roughly 70 students. So whatever that costs, and then there's solo and ensemble fees. Something that I wanted to do, something different that Mr. Schwindt and Ms. Zahn do, is I want to put the accompaniment fee in the lab fee so that Mrs. Black didn't have to chase down the students for her payment, because that's how she lives. And so I rolled that her accompaniment fee into their fees so that we can just give them a lump sum, her a lump sum, and say, okay, this is how many students are doing solo and ensemble, here's your check. And she doesn't have to worry about, well, this student didn't pay me here and I have to keep track of this person, and it gets really tiresome. Happy accompanist, happy choir. All state registration, I charged the students $30. However, their registration is $20, and the extra $10 is meant to help cover the cost of choral tracks and their music if they get past the first and second round. The choral tracks for the SATB choir is $100, and then the SSAA choir is $60. So it really depends on how many students are auditioning. We currently had 12, which is the max amount of people that could audition. Choral rehearsals with Ms. Black is $35 an hour this year and $50 per group per concert. We're looking at 3 to 4 groups per concert, so you're looking at probably 150 to 200 per concert. And that includes, so 4 performances, just giving heads up about that. And then there's transportation and fundraising. So that's really it.
We're gonna have to sit down and go through that.
Yeah.
I mean, because right now, just quickly out of my head, that's before fees are collected and stuff, that's more than what you have.
Absolutely.
So we've got to get strategic about that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we need to go over that.
And I put a deadline for students to pay their fees by September 10th.
Good.
And there have been several students that have already paid this, and it's already in the vault. So.
Well, that's the thing I forgot to say. I will have the invoices sent out by Friday to everybody. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, that's it. So the big thing is to vote on dresses today to get them ordered.
We voted on your dresses, did we not?
I don't know.
No, I think we tabled it until we had a dollar amount.
Okay,
So,
so I'll move to,
hold on, I got a question on
go
that
ahead.
before we do that. What is the turnaround time on the dresses?
5 business days.
5 business days. So if we waited a week or two, we'd still be good for October, right?
You're running into the risk of making sure that students are getting hemmed. All the dresses have to be hemmed.
Okay. But a week or two, and you'd still have essentially 3 to 4 weeks then to do
what is
that.
the concert?
October 4th.
I'm just concerned about if you need choral tracks now, you need the dresses now, you need all this now, we're not gonna have the funds to cover it all.
What's, I don't have it in front of me. Yes, I do.
Dresses are the most important.
So you have 8,000 in there right now,
So where you see,
right? Oh, no, that's from last year,
7,083.
7,083. And you're needing
so
like,
$5,000 for the dresses.
we'll leave you 2 until we collect
Everything else.
ball fees, right?
Mhm.
Are you okay with that?
Yes. Because, I mean, dresses, they have to go on stage.
The other thing you can ask the choral tracks guy, I know it's a small amount, but for Miss Orr, he split it. So we paid half of it in the fall, half of it in the spring, see if he'll do that again.
Okay, I can reach out to him.
I mean, that's it's a few hundred, but everything right now matters.
Absolutely.
So, okay,
Yeah.
so it's worth asking. He may say no.
Yeah.
But, never hurts to ask.
Okay.
So,
I
All
can do
right,
that.
so I'll move that we go ahead and we order 72, correct me when I'm wrong, Mr. Rohr,
That's
72 dresses for you
Yes.
and use your finances. And is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Jess. Second is Ms. Barney. We're just gonna go around and take roll to say yay or nay. You're voting for us. Mr. Eckhoff's a yay. Yay.
yeah.
Yay. Yes, okay, so we're unanimous that we will order your dresses, or one of you two will order your dresses. Mr. Schwindt, you're up to bat.
All right, we have all the marching band stuff's going. First game's on Friday. We ordered our t-shirts. Robert, you've been in contact with Rob over there.
I was over there today. Yeah.
Thank you for following up on that, doing that stuff. I did email him back. I found that where he sent me the artwork.
Okay.
So if that machine gets repaired, we'll have it for Friday. The kids will be running on Friday.
And there was a guy working on it while I was there, so,
Hope he was good at what he was doing.
yeah.
So,
I just saw he had tools in his hand and was working on the thing. So,
and then this year, we're gonna do an entrance to the field a little bit different. We were talking about that after school today, where we're going to come into the field from over in the main part of the campus, walk out on the field, and then we're gonna have a little bit more pomp and ceremony at the beginning of the game than we have in the past. So it'll be nice, hopefully those shirts will be here to be able to do those kind of things. Robert, that's awesome, you get the invoices out by Friday.
Yeah.
It's
I
great.
just gotta be able to get in that Google Doc.
So we can take care of that today before we leave, so I'll make sure that, and I'll make sure we do that. And I think we're still have some uniform makeup people tonight. So we're here till 7, so we'll do a quick scan through that document to make sure everybody's right. And we click the right boxes and did all those kind of things. And there's still some kids that haven't done a fall fee form yet, so we'll still need that.
And you know, when I look through it, I ask y'all questions too, so.
Absolutely, we'll try to get through that as much as we can so that it's as far ahead as possible.
Okay.
We do have our all-state fees as well, the kids are paying it, it's cost $15, we charge them $15. They're paying it as they go, and they're not allowed, I won't sign them up for all-state until they bring the $15, all that stuff's in the safe, so that'll be a wash. We ask for that check.
Okay.
And then our biggest costs coming up will be instrument repairs, and then instruments, just trying to find instruments for these poor kids to play. Various saxes, trumpets, flutes in particular right now we're really short on. Those are some of the big costs. And then of course the costs of running the concession stand, as that money starts going out and coming in, and then we'll have buses, but all that'll go through the internal accounts. Those have all been ordered, all of our forms for the year have been turned in, as far as activity forms. And there was something else I was gonna say with that, I don't remember what it is, so I'll think of it later and I'll interrupt the meeting and.
Okay.
"Oh,
We're used to
I got
that,
it."
you always interrupt the
That's
meeting.
what I do.
That's what you do, it's your thing.
I forgot our all-state students,
Okay,
ours is $30.
they pay, it's an even
They pay
swap.
and then they-
Okay, did you get that, Mrs. Knotts? It's even swap, okay, for orchestra. Ms. Horner is not here tonight, but I do know that we now have 7, you don't call them TSA, auxiliary.
Absolutely.
We
That's right.
have 7 auxiliary now, and I think you guys are working on you guys are working on what their costumes are gonna be.
Ms. Horner has that all put together. yeah.
Okay, so Ms. Horner's working on that, so if she reaches out for help, please help. I'm gonna turn it over to Ms. Davies, who is helping Mrs. Wright. Mrs. Wright at this moment is in the uniform room fitting students, so. Sure.
So uniforms, uniforms for marching, we only have about 30 kids left to fit for marching. For orc and concert, we're looking at 60. So orc can come tomorrow night, I'll be here while they're at practice. So we did really good. The biggest thing with uniforms, the concert uniforms, because they sat for 2 years, are moldy, really, really bad. I took 3 jackets up to the cleaners. They looked at them and they're like, we'll try with dry cleaning, but do I have your permission to spot wash? Which I gave. The dry cleaning got it out. So before concerts, we've got to pay to have those. One boy took out his pants and they were just covered.
Is it white mold?
It's white, yeah.
Okay, good. So it's not the dangerous stuff.
Right.
It's not
I know.
that the kids can't wear it.
No, but it's not dangerous, no,
But
you're right.
thank goodness that it's something, we gotta clean it. We can't put them on there, but it's not, no one's in.
No one's in
houses.
As they,
respiratory danger.
yes, no, so that's the biggest, they have to be cleaned before we do any concerts, so when and how much, I don't know, but it's,
That's typically paid through the schools.
is it,
Well, that uniform
Okay.
fee that we're collecting from everybody now
Yep.
goes to school, and that's what we used to pay for.
okay,
Yeah.
so that's the biggest thing with uniforms, let's move it along.
Come in, sew. I'll be here tomorrow.
Yes, volunteers to sew.
There was a sign up
needed.
genius that went out for volunteers to please come and help us hem. Even if you don't know how to sew, we will teach you. It is not hard. It's a very easy whip stitch to sew uniforms. So please come tomorrow night and we will be sewing in the band
In
room.
the uniform room, now that we have lights.
In the uniform room, now that we have lights.
Do you have a list of who has not?
I do, I emailed you over the weekend.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see, okay.
That's okay, so I sent it, one is just marching band, who needs to be fitted, and one is concert orchestra, with all the kids.
I have some parents that are good with solar, so I need to give you some.
Yes, we'll take them. Anybody we can get.
Do you want to finish the hemming and all that kind of stuff before we send in the concert uniforms, or do the concert, we want to get it as soon as possible?
As soon as possible, there's not much in the way of hemming for the concert uniforms, I don't have many that need to be hemmed.
I have one at home.
And some parents,
I have one at home too that I
take care of those.
Julia's short, she has to have her sent every year, so I just take it
All
home.
of the choir dresses will
Okay, they're all open at the bottom, okay. Great, thank you, Ms. Davies. And thank you to Ms. Wright, she can't hear us, but I'm thanking her publicly. She and her daughter, Lori, have been here every night for fittings to help. And a shout out to Jamie Hunter, who has been keeping the line moving and keeping everybody from losing their minds in the band room. Ms. Hill, would you like to do fundraising?
Yes.
Thank you. And y'all love you, this on my-
So, as y'all know, we are rolling pennies for gas money broke. So, me and Robert went and spoke to Leslie about these candles. And if we sell over $2,400, we get 50%. And if we sell 40, anything under that, we get 40% of these candles. We do have some samples in that bag that y'all can smell them. With y'all's permission, we'd like to get this rolling because it's one of the best ones that give back the best money. And I've learned from the soccer club that they brought in about $7,500. Is that correct, Robert? 7,500, is that what you
We
said?
brought in, soccer does it in the spring, so that's why we want to do band in the fall, so we're not two different organizations. But this past, in the spring, it was, the profit for soccer was over $4,000. Okay, so, and again, she sorts them, she will color code them on however we want them divided. We want them divided flutes, chorus, however we want them. She'll subdivide them and have them ready, already boxed for each individual sale. And,
They're made here in, or not here in Florida, but Texas. So they're made in the USA. They're all soy. I think the most expensive thing she had on here was like $20. It wasn't that expensive. But with y'all's permission, and I was thinking maybe we would start this,
that's what we need to do too, is coordinate.
coordinate the calendar when y'all think will be a good time. I'm thinking at the end of October is what my,
What's the turnaround time after ordering?
1 week.
1 week,
So we open up ordering for 2 weeks.
correct?
When we turn around, we get them out before Thanksgiving.
That was exactly what I wanted to do. Are y'all,
How's it, go ahead, how's calendar work for in October sometime?
End of October is marching in PA, so that's on the 30th of October.
so if we started at November 1st,
First, we're looking at orchestra and ensemble, which is not quite as intensive as the marching band stuff's kind of.
or we could start it 2 weeks before. It's whatever y'all want to do. I don't
We
want
could
the
do
kids to
first 2
be,
weeks. 'Cause some of this, if you look at the pamphlets, some of it's like fall type.
yeah,
items.
most of it's fall, so we were trying to get it
What
definitely
about the
out.
first 2 weeks of October?
Will that work for y'all?
Yeah,
Okay,
Any thoughts on discussion?
yes, sir.
This is just me being new to the Titusville area. I know in the southern half of the county, and I don't know if this even applies to us since we're not the school, there was like a fundraiser calendar that we would always have to like abide by to make sure that people weren't doing fundraisers at the same time as other people. Is that a thing in Titusville?
Not that I know of.
it's a thing, but we don't have to do it because we're the boosters. We're outside organization.
Outside support organization.
Yeah, exactly right.
Cool.
Write our own rules, good, kind of my.
So I motion to do the first 2 weeks of October.
I second that motion.
Okay. Are y'all good with the candles? It was one of the
Yeah.
ones that give back the best money. Okay, well, yeah, I'm just making sure.
If y'all wanna look at the samples she gave us,
They smell really good. There's
They're right
all-
here,
Yeah,
I went
whenever-
through them all.
whenever we're done.
They're really nice.
All right, so let's take roll. Mr. Feaster?
Yes.
Mr. Eckhoff? Ms. Davies? Yes, Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Ms. Hill? Mrs. Knott? Yes. Mrs. Hen?
Okay. Yeah.
Marty?
Jessica says yes.
Ms.
Ms.
Barney?
She's yes.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, we're just,
So
I meant, like I
let's start
said,
September 27th,
okay, that sounds great.
and finishing up on the 8th.
And
That'll
she
work.
provides all the pamphlets, she does all of it.
Yeah.
We collect the money, we write her a check, and then also, we gotta visit one other thing that you want me to talk about the prizes.
Oh, yeah, that is a big
Okay,
thing,
so here's
yes.
what she say, 3,
So the top 3 she gives,
no, it's per $100 they sell, she gives them one ticket for the drawing.
Right, but the top three, I thought she gave
No,
$20.
we talked about that as an
Okay.
option too.
Okay,
Did we talk about it?
yep, go ahead.
Okay. So for every $100 somebody sells, they get a ticket for a drawing instead of giving the top three like rock tiered prizes. And then she draws out and gives three $20 cash rewards for the three that are drawn out. Now, we do with onions, we do prizes or best sellers, but I kind of thought, and Jen agreed that, what if we added to that and did another, depending on how many we sell, 3 to 5 additional $20 awards every 100. They get a ticket, and we'll do 3 to 5 more depending on what volume we do. Y'all agree with that? So they get a drawing ticket for every $100 they sell. The vendor, Leslie, does 3 of them. So she draws out 3 and gives a $20 prize for each. We would like to add an additional 3 to 5. If our volume's low, then we'll only do 3 additional. If we sell, 8,000, then we'll do 5 additional. So we would be giving those additional to the 3 she's given, so it would be only $20 each. So at the most, we'd be spending an additional $100, but if we make it,
Right.
4,000 or more, you see what I'm saying? It's $100, so it gives some people some incentive. And, most of the kids are excited to get a $20.
She likes the $100 price point for that.
Yeah,
We were
That's-
thinking 50, we did
yeah,
think
we talked about 50.
So it helps the kids
We
that,
could do 50 from the boosters, like
Yeah, we
every
could.
50, they get a ticket from
Or
us.
she's open to ideas, she's just
Yeah.
from her experience, and she's done this a long time. That's why she uses 100, but we could do 50, and I'm sure she would go for that too. I mean, it's still gonna cost her 3 $20 bills.
Correct, we still.
Yeah, it's still gonna cost
Yes,
right,
so I'm sure she'll go for that, I mean,
Right.
and you saw how
Gives more people a
receptive.
chance to win.
Yeah,
exactly,
so I support that, and we can vote on that once we see the amount.
right,
But let's look at every $50, so we're saying every $50 they get a ticket.
Yes.
I'm just looking because a lot of this stuff's $10.
Yep.
right,
15, so 100 of it is 10, that's a lot. But if we say 5, okay,
right,
now then we're gonna have the super sellers that sell a ton of them.
Yep.
Then that way, every kid is equal to, we're not looking at anything
Right,
else.
just throwing a ticket in the bucket.
throwing a
Yeah.
ticket in the bucket.
Do we want to do, well, then we can look at it, but do we want to do a big prize for the people that sell the most? Top
I
1, 2, and 3.
think they're gonna have so many tickets in there that will help. And maybe let's see how we are at the end,
And
like how much we sell at the end.
'Cause-
Or,
We can always vote.
But we gotta tell them upfront
Right,
what
it's all
prizes
upfront.
are.
Right,
We just don't have to tell them how many we can tell them there'll be for sure 6 $20, and then we can always add more at the end. Like say, oh, we're gonna draw 2 more.
and it is a reward to get more tickets, but I would love to do something to reward the kids that are going above and beyond. I sold $400, $500 worth of stuff, there's
right,
a good chance I won't get a ticket pulled.
right.
I mean, I might, but there's a chance I won't.
so you say just
What if
one
they
top
get a
prize?
ticket for every increment of something they sold? That way they can have a chance to have more tickets in the pot to win something.
Well, that's the
Right,
dollar
That's
amount.
the dollar amount, like if they sell 100, then they, for every, yeah,
So I'll
So
give you
you're
an
saying-
example from soccer.
One,
So an example from soccer, the top seller was $1,000 worth of candles. It was just under, but essentially, okay? So they would get 20 tickets then, right? Did I do my math right?
Yes.
It's been a while since I've been in
Yes.
school.
but I do understand what you're saying too.
So, and I understand what you're saying too, but I'm just, so they would get 20 tickets where the person who only sold 50 would only get 1 ticket. But if you want to do the prizes, what do we want to do? In the thought that, let's say the minimum, let's say we're gonna get 40%, because that's, if we sell less than 2,400. So what do we want to do in the first time? Do we want to do like $50?
If this works in other groups, I definitely don't want to argue with it.
Right,
I mean, I'm definitely not against it.
right.
No.
Well, the other thing is that we don't have to announce that we're gonna do a big prize.
but he said.
Yeah, but you want them to have incentive.
No, that's true, we
Yeah.
do.
You want them to do incentive upfront, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
We're good. Go ahead.
So along Mr. Schwindt's line, my thought would be that if you know ahead of time who the biggest seller is, that they do get a number, I'm making this up, that they get 50 and their tickets don't go in there. So they get the 50 and they're not watering down the pool
Right.
to possibly get another $20 or $40. So they get the big prize, but everybody else actually is boosted up by their tickets.
They would have their
not being-
names on the back of their tickets, so we would know.
Well, yeah, you don't have to put them in until the day you're making a drawing,
Right.
you know?
Right.
So anyway, that's, go ahead.
So I have a question.
Oh, no, sure.
Could I say personally offer to pay the top person 10% of whatever they get? So if they sell $500 worth, I'd give them $50, or if they sold 1,000, I'd give them $100, because I would personally.
Well, we will not turn money away ever.
Yeah, no, and you're welcome to do that,
I
and
didn't know
thank
if
you
I'm
for,
allowed to do that.
yeah, you
You
are.
are.
Or whatever
And you can
they
either,
would value.
you can do it one of two ways. You can either give the prize yourself, or you can donate the money and then we give them the prize, and then you
Oh,
have a
okay.
tax write-off if you itemize.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? So,
Do you want to set
I like
it
to
at
give people the
10%
options,
up to so much?
No, because I'm receiving someone $2,000 worth of trainings.
So-
And if they did, I mean, I'd pay up to $200.
All right.
In order to make the band 1,800.
Anybody want to tell Mrs. Hen no? Mr. Orr?
we appreciate you doing
Yes.
this.
Thank you. If they sell over a 1,500, I will chip in money.
I think for me, my personal opinion of it is that it's really important to reward the small amount of people who get the knowledge. And so by saying that you have to get up to 5 items to be sold in order to get qualified to get a chance to win a prize can be really off-putting to students and whatnot. I'm coming from a perspective of teaching middle school and having to cater for 180 of them. And even, I mean, teaching high school and whatnot too, as stupid as these little keychains, are to say, you're guaranteed to get one of these after you spell 3 items, is gonna motivate them more than to say, okay, you're getting the chance to sell 5 items, you get a chance to get a prize. They need to have something that they're guaranteed to get, or they're not going to really buy into it.
I agree 100%. And that's always what worked. That's how we've sold so many cherry cards over the years.
The problem is that becomes a logistical nightmare for us.
Well, with these are like,
Well, you have to buy them, first of all, then you have to determine who gets them and how many, and we're only going 2 weeks. So, I mean, I understand what you're saying too.
Right now, what we got going,
What?
I think what you have
Yeah,
going on
I
right now,
meant-
to add this incentive, it's just.
We're broke, y'all.
We are poor, and
we're
I
trying to
totally
get
get it
money so
because
they can get new dresses and new uniforms.
I still
Yeah,
have
you've given away
Julia
money.
were they dogs? What were they, Hassan? Or something, dogs, something. Every year something different, when the band sold something, and they were like, Mom, you don't understand, like, I gotta sell 5 more because I want this
yes,
glow-in-the-dark dog, viral. And I get that, but a lot of times too, what ends up happening is that the parent, I'm
Ends up
looking at
buying.
myself, ends up buying that to get that next. If it's just the one thing, then we just soon give everybody one and say, for you guys participating, we're gonna give everybody whatever it is.
just in my experience, you're not gonna get as much of a profit if you. So if you're running on, like, we have to get a profit, you gotta work on the little stuff before you work on this.
I think my opinion is if we lower it to 50, that is reasonable. I mean, because a lot
I mean,
of
we
it.
could lower it to 20,
I don't
and if
think,
they sell 2 candles, I'm good with that.
I don't think that you need to lower it, I think 50 is wonderful, but you have to guarantee that they're gonna get something, other than a chance to lose.
Yeah,
That's the issue that I have.
I don't see that as a necessity right now. We
What do
might,
they do with soccer? Do they do that with
No.
soccer?
No.
How much does soccer typically make for this, on this?
About 4,500.
40, and a few years ago, they even did 15 grand in the spring, so.
Mr. Feaster?
I think we've already lowered it, the sellers are gonna sell, the ones that aren't gonna sell, no matter how much you motivate them.
So here's,
There's people that have money or not, let's stick with what we got, because if we keep getting more complicated, we'll
Yeah.
never.
and two things there. If we go down to 20, then we're giving away potentially a $20 prize when we're only getting
That's
$10,
true.
$10
I didn't
profit.
even think about that.
And then if we say you get something even if you sell one, well, what's the cost of that item? And the one at $10, let's say, just for hypothetical sake, so our profit's 5, and what's the cost of the item we're giving to every single person who
10
gets one?
cents. Usually you buy these things in bulk,
Okay.
about 10 cents.
So-
Is the prices that we've done in the past.
Right. So,
And you don't do it after every one, you do it after every 3, then 5, then 7, then 10.
I would say if we're gonna do it, and I'm just putting this out there, if we're gonna do it, we do it after 3 and we don't do it again. Then they get tickets after that. Because again, logistical nightmare for me, you, everybody involved.
And I think that is a fantastic compromise.
The problem is the cost.
well, if it's a minimal cost, but the issue I've had in fundraisers I've done at various levels for stuff is then you have people only do the minimum, they're not pushing for that next level. So you gotta balance the two on whether it's, are they selling more because they're motivated to get some of the drawing, or are they stopping because they got the little prize?
Go ahead.
Devil's advocate, although some people may be only going to get the prize, what if they do 0 because there wasn't a prize?
That's true too.
That's true.
I mean, it is
They
true.
probably wouldn't have done anything anyway.
I think it depends.
I mean, just like,
Are we gonna depend enough to spend a bunch of profit money to figure out if they are?
I think that it can be
What?
worth it.
and I don't, it's been 2 years and you've done it a bunch, Ian and Jen. It's relatively a small percentage of people that even sell onions, right?
I think so.
It's not even half.
Yeah, the best fundraiser we have is the hour thing. They just come in for an hour, they start calling people, whether we're selling tarot cards, we're trying to get people to donate. And just sign up for that thing, and it was an hour, here we go, bam, but we had all those little prizes, and every time somebody had a sale, come up, they get this stuff, they get candy bar. It's just a madhouse, that's when we made our money. This kind of stuff, just kind of hand out, okay, good luck. It's fine, that's really the small thing. So in my head, I'm thinking here, is there a time that we could have a party? There's an hour.
But they need to collect the money when they're ordering. That's,
Yeah, they have
can't-
to collect
right, it's not like
money.
they can call and say, hey, Grandma, we buy 3 candles?
Correct, so what you do is hey, grandma, you just get pledges, at that point, you're basically getting pledges, you know that half the pledges they're gonna get in that room at that time are never gonna go.
Right.
And that's something we don't care. Because that half is still way more than if we just hand out the flyers in the class all the time, or so forth, with sending them. But it's hard, because there's not gonna be time to pull the orchestra together, unless you take a class period to do it, and we just can't do that. I can't imagine we can get away with being able to do that in class time.
You know, and when would you do it after school, I mean, or before school, or I can't imagine people staying.
Right, that's why March Band Camp was such a perfect time to do it.
Right. We had it in one place at one time.
Well, remember, we're trying to find another fall fundraiser because we lost the cards and
Right.
so what do we want to?
You still have a whole, do we have boxes of these pigeons? Or do we get rid of them?
Well, we gave them out as prizes. And then
I
Ray would
mean,
also
we-
take
like
pictures.
after all that, we had boxes of those keychains.
They would be in the org store if we have them.
We didn't find any when we were cleaning it out. Remember?
We maybe got rid of them. I'm just saying, then if we have a box of them.
Because remember when we went through there,
we can
some
just
of,
throw it when they hand it-
we found all those cushions, right? and
Yeah,
all
that's
that.
when we found all the cushions and sold them.
We sold all of those cushions and the water bottles and cups and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm saying that there wasn't any keychains when we pulled all that together.
No, there wasn't.
Would you think the kids would respond to, like, chorus against freshman band against orchestra, like make it a competition? I don't know. I mean, we're still halfway, you're gonna get the winner, but, like, I don't know if they would respond to that, make it a competition between the
Could you give
classes.
them
I don't
just
know
a
if you could
pizza
even
party?
do that.
Right, that's
It's
what
a
I'm
group.
thinking, just a pizza party.
And we put chorus, orchestra, and band, and we put chorus, orchestra, and band, I'll say together, freshmen against sophomores, against juniors, against seniors, and it's freshman orchestra, chorus, band. It's sophomore orchestra, chorus, band, so that it's those.
And I'm getting
four
By
groups.
class.
Yeah, sending that away, like it's not a dual.
The orchestra likes to
Compete
beat
against-
everybody and compete against each other.
Well, I mean, like they would, I think, based on what they talked about,
They would what, I
They'd
didn't,
be into that.
But, and it could be, I remember how much, when you brought the Harry Potter stuff, how much fun they had. We definitely could put chorus against orchestra against band too, and just per person, not like,
yeah, like a percentage.
yeah,
Based
so.
on how
dollar
many
per
people-
Oh, yeah, dollar percentage.
dollars per person, so.
I guess the big thing for me for that is we're looking at freshman class, band having 50+ students versus 8 choir students.
Well, that's why she just.
Well, the
said-
other
if
thing
you
is
just
that
said
She
some
said all
freshmen.
freshmen for
It
both
was
So
a
you would
year.
get all
Freshman-
freshmen, so
So
yours,
hold on, let Jessica go ahead.
go ahead.
The thing with doing it with against chorus, against band, against orchestra is you have several students that are double students, some that are tri-students. So would they get to pick?
No,
Who
we
they-
were going by class.
I think we're gonna go by
Jess.
class, that makes it easy.
I
That way
think
you're
I
doubling
think the
the
class
number.
thing is a lot better, freshmen and sophomores against juniors and seniors.
Right, because like my kid's a doubler, you know what I'm saying? So if it's just a senior class, then it's just a senior class and it's not.
I
it's
agree
not
with you, we should go by
against
classes.
Ma'am?
I said I agree with you, we should do it by classes.
Yes, me too.
Okay. Is there anybody opposed to doing a top class seller pizza party?
Yeah, he's trying to get his uniform.
He's just trying to get his uniform. Is there anybody against that, going to do classes? Does that help Mr. Rohr? Because that'll help you guys numbers wise. It'll be
And what are we
all
gonna do?
freshmen,
Yeah, all freshmen, all sophomores,
And then
all
what, a pizza
juniors.
party?
and pizza, winner gets a pizza party.
I mean, come on, we can afford to buy
We could do pizza party.
Yeah, we can do pizza party.
Okay.
You know, per person, how much, like, there's a lot more, there's probably twice as many ninth graders as there are.
Then you know what, this year's gonna have to suck it up and sell more.
Well, and that's fine, but then we're gonna buy a pizza party for 80 kids.
It's all right, I'm not worried about the pizza. I'm not,
But why can't, but why not do it like average dollar per person?
we can still do average dollar per person.
Yeah.
We have to do it.
Average
Average
dollar per
dollar, yeah.
person. That's
That's
fine.
smart.
We still may have to buy it for the 90 kids, but yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But you know what though, I mean, let's face it, if these kids go in there like, hey, we're gonna be, the freshmen are gonna beat the seniors, then you know what, well,
More money in our pocket.
that's
Yeah,
it.
that's what I'm thinking.
That's the way to
Because,
motivate them.
right,
Okay.
we gotta motivate
You okay
them,
with that? Class
and
against
y'all
class?
need money, I don't know what else to do.
okay, so make a motion, we divide it by class, have a pizza party for the winning class.
Second. Mr. Feaster,
Yes.
Mr. Eckhoff, Mr. Cox,
Yes,
Ms. Hill,
Yes,
Mrs. Knott,
yes.
Mrs. Hen.
Miss Barney,
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
We're gonna vote on the other incentive level stuff, we didn't really do that.
Yeah, I need a
Yeah, so we're doing how much per ticket again? Somebody help me.
$50 per
$50
ticket.
per
Okay.
ticket.
Anybody opposed, let's go with this. Anybody opposed to doing $50 per ticket,
no,
per ticket?
no,
Say no.
I'll
Okay.
text Leslie right now and ask.
And that will be, the company will do the 3 drawings.
And we will add 3 to 5 depending on how much we sell.
We're gonna tell them we're gonna do 6 total,
Total,
and
right.
then if we sell more, we'll add a couple
And
more.
then on top of that.
And Ms. Hen
it's gonna be
generously-
top seller.
Ms. Hen is,
So,
Ms.
so
Hen
there's
is,
a lot of.
That's a
incentives.
lot of-
there's a
incentives.
lot of.
We need to discuss how we handle the top prize one,
I
the
think,
suggestion I made where that
Yeah.
top prizer is not watering down the pool.
yes, I
Correct.
agree.
Yeah.
That top
I agree.
price where their
And the
tickets will
top
come out.
price is not gonna water down the pool.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Anybody
I agree.
opposed to that? Jessica, is that okay with you?
Jess,
I'm cool with that.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Ms. Hill, what else do you have?
we are going to set up a table at the football game to sell magnets. If we can get some people to help at the table.
I'll talk to Mr. Clark.
park. So hopefully we can get them.
Hey, Jen,
Yes,
do you want me to add that to the concession sign up genius to work a table? Cause I can do that.
Yes, please.
please.
Thank
Just-
you.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Jessica, where are you at for Friday? Do you have enough people?
I just checked your sign up.
Right now, like everyone is really, yeah, I think I'm only
only have
down
one
one
left.
person, but the sign up genius looks good, but I will go over everything when you guys get to me.
Oh, sorry.
Are we all good? I am looking at a couple more fundraisers. This one right here just seems like the best bang for the buck, and they're made in America, and they actually do really smell good.
I know, I checked them all out.
So I put them all up here. Do y'all want to check them out? So.
Mr. Rohr,
I'm really good at fundraising. I fundraise like $30,000 in Central. So I have some ideas. I don't know if you
Okay.
heard them or if they've been used or if we even have the capability
The
of
two of
doing
you
them
together.
myself. First one would be selling detergent. They buy the 5-gallon bucket. Second would be selling mattresses.
That was
Done
on the
that.
list. We were,
Yeah, we've done that for,
we were, I talked to Mr. Schwindt briefly on band meeting day about mattresses.
Cool. Also bedding and sheets is also on that as well.
Right.
Onions is the biggest one. So we did that Central too. Fundraised that $30,000 from that. The big thing, and I've talked with Ian and Jen about that, at Central, we have a way bigger population and a totally different clientele. But we did do a fair share thing, which can be off-putting. But we did a fair share, and then for every monies that they met after the fair share, we did an end of the year trip to Universal. And it was not performing, it was on Saturday. And eventually the more that they sold, the cheaper that their ticket cost. And I'm not sure if we would be interested in doing something like that. Like I said, the clientele is totally different up here, but we fundraised $30,000.
That's awesome. I would say yes, but can we get through December and COVID before we,
and
because I
think
like that idea a lot.
I think something like that's where you get with Jen and you work out the details and then we do a proposal
Put the two of you
here.
together because it
Yeah,
sounds
at
like
the
you both
meeting.
have
Yeah.
similar ideas and we can put the two of
Yeah.
you together.
The one guy that was supposed to be making our magnets, but something happened. Apparently, I was looking at Christmas trees because Christmas trees, believe it or not, bring in money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like they
And
ran out last year.
They ran out. I mean, nobody had them last year. When I called this year, they were already 100% spoken for. However, there's a man that bought the old Christmas tree farm up in Oak Hill, Scottsmore, and I talked to his wife, and maybe we can get something going with them. Like if we give a flyer, then you go up there and you buy your thing, then we might get a percentage. So that is in the works.
So
That's
he,
awesome.
yeah, he talked to me about it and I handed it off to Jen. And he graduated with me and he's offering basically to give us free money. All we gotta do is refer people and then he'll give us a percentage.
Awesome. Sounds good to me.
So,
So they just bring the flyer with them and then,
yeah,
all right, just find out before our next meeting and we'll start talking about that
Right,
too.
so I spoke briefly to his wife, and she's like, you gotta talk to
And
AW.
he's ordered trees for this year. He ordered them well in advance.
Advanced.
But he's actually gonna start an actual Christmas tree farm up there because the other people are no longer, that family,
They passed away.
yeah, so. Just Leslie's already responded, she's gonna do the $50 per ticket also.
Yes, awesome. Thank you. Thanks to her.
So, and for right now, that's it. I am gonna look at a few more dinner and dine thingies because that was just easy money. It wasn't much money, but it was easy money. You know what I'm saying? So I know that we are definitely broke.
We are search the couch cushions. Changed.
That's what I said. Rolling
College-
pennies. for
Rolling
gas
pennies,
money.
rolling pennies broke. Mr. Eckhoff, you have to bat. You have to come up here.
What those are the sizes?
I have podium and equipment to away games for you.
Good evening. Really quick on equipment. Mr. Hunter is fabricating rails for the podium. He's also gonna make some modifications to the feet so that it opens much easier. Don't know how that evolved over time, but it's been difficult for years, so I can attest to that. So we're gonna get that in order. Let's see, and then getting ahead of ourselves a bit, but I will work with Mr. Schwindt and some others to make sure we get the trailer and the rental truck coordinated so we can talk about how the transaction with the rental company will happen. I haven't had to do that in a couple of years, so we'll figure out how that works. That's all I really have unless I'm forgetting something. But one last thing that will be a future conversation. My understanding is that the county has a property sticker on the trailer or on our trailer. So I'm gonna try to look into what does that mean, because the county would not take possession of it a few years ago. And so the question is it now being inventoried or whatever? I don't think it makes much difference to the boosters, if we will, but I think we just need to look into what does that really mean? Because it wasn't possessed by the county.
Right, and if it is, the county has it now, then it should fall under
Yeah,
county's
we can talk.
insurance as well, right?
We can talk into those details, but, so that's a future discussion, so, that's all.
The U-Haul, I had been making the reservations and
Okay.
just using the card, so however y'all wanna do it, we can coordinate
That's
that.
easy.
Yep, sounds good.
Mr. Hunter's not here, so Ms. Varney, you're up to bat.
Okay, like Robert said earlier, I am being very frugal, and I actually worked out a deal with Pepsi. We're supposed to have a minimum purchase order of $750 for the year to keep our coolers, but because they were out of a lot of the things that we needed, they told us that they offered bottles, but I told them no bottles because they didn't sell very well last year. So they gave us what they could, and we don't have to order anymore. And our total was $564. So that's a good discount. I've also talked it over with Jen and Camille, and we've changed the menu and the pricing for concessions this year just because the cost of everything has gone up. And we're not offering pizza because we couldn't get any pizza for free, and the loss of pizza every game was give or take. So we're just going to be offering burgers, hamburgers and cheeseburgers, hot dogs, popcorn, nachos, and boiled peanuts, candy, chips, sodas, Gatorades, and waters. So the menu is really simple this year. I'm really proud of all the freshman parents. They really have stepped up, and they filled up that sign up genius within a couple of days. So thank you for that.
Thank you, freshman parents.
And
Say what?
Jessica,
Parents are tired.
They were just saying, thank you, freshman parents.
Yes, but thank you, freshman parents. Like I'm very impressed this year with freshman parents. They really have stepped up. We do have the game on Friday, set up and everything, and start cooking around 5. And then I guess they'll start letting everyone in about 6:30. I'm still unsure if I'm going to be allowed to be there. But I do have someone who is going to play me. Camille says that she is negative now, and she's going to be able to come in. And Jen Hill said she's going to be cooking. For next week, we have a game, the JV game on Thursday, and we have the varsity game on Friday. So I will get those sign up geniuses to you by this weekend so that they can go out with the weekly email so that we can get them set up. I'm going to put them on the same sign up genius, but I'm going to label it for the JV and the varsity. That way they can see if they can do one day or the other. I'm going to go pick up the order tomorrow at Sam's, and I got to coordinate with Jen Hill about getting that to the school. But I think that's all I got. But like I said, I'm going to stay very frugal. The only reason we had a surplus last year of inventory was because of the rocket launch that went bad. Other than that, I only purchase per game so that we don't have a loss.
Jessica?
Thank you.
Yes?
I have the Pepsi check, so if they contact you or if they contact the school, you need to direct them my way and I'll get them paid.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah, because they dropped, I'm sure you heard they dropped it off and didn't stay
Oh,
for
I
it.
heard they were supposed to
It's
give
on
a
spot.
30-minute warning.
But yeah, just give them my phone number and stuff.
They were leaving.
So like if the bookkeeper contacts y'all or Pepsi contacts you, Jessica, just give them my phone number.
So what,
All right.
they showed up one morning and, you know, the custodians let them in and then
Fine by
I'm
us.
walking over there to tell them, hey, just set it back here. What is our procedure this year for when they show up?
Usually
They
what
normally-
happens is they come
They
and they
were,
bought product unless we have the check.
yeah,
But
usually
somebody worked
they
their
give us a
magic.
30-minute warning.
Yeah,
They're
they
supposed,
gave me a
they're-
30-minute warning, nothing. I got nothing.
Now,
Okay.
in Pepsi's defense, they have how many drivers did they have?
So last year they had, I think they had over 200 and something, and then they're down to like 22 drivers. And I talked to a guy that was from Clearwater that was over here. So he's like, I can't even tell you which way to point in direction because I don't even know who to call.
The guy, when I talked to the driver here that morning, he'd never been here before. He had no idea. He said, I just started. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So, and that's fine. My procedure is if they show up and I didn't know that was happening, I just need to call you and say, hey, man, they're here to grab a check.
Yeah, if I'm available to come up at the time, because typically, they wouldn't even, once they got here, they wouldn't even give you 5 minutes. If you didn't have a check there, they'd leave.
Yeah.
They would leave.
No, they said
So-
that they were gonna invoice us, right?
I'm assuming they're gonna invoice
Yeah.
us.
I think if they're willing to drop it, let them drop it, and then they can bill us. So-
yeah, they were supposed to give us a 30-minute warning prior to delivery so that we could be there with the check, but they did not do that.
Because I mean, I only work I mean, literally, I can make it from my work to here in 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
If she's not speeding.
And I'm not speeding.
All right.
So,
There's
yeah.
just
So
really-
yeah, so if they invoice you or the bookkeeper gets something, just tell the bookkeeper to let us know. Robert already wrote the check. So, I mean, I'm just happy we have product,
If
Jessica.
Me too, and got everything ordered in time. So, and it's all cans from what I ordered, so we should be good. Like
Phil
I
and I are
said, and
gonna
I have,
load up the coolers tomorrow
So
for you.
future deliveries, if they're willing to drop it, let them drop it and bill us.
Heck yeah, that was the best thing ever.
Right, so we got like a couple little money, like drawing a little bit of.
Yeah, we got a
dollars.
little, we still have a little, we don't have to pay that right away. Anything from anybody in the room? I know you don't, no.
Other than dresses being voted on.
We voted dresses.
Okay, cool.
You're all good. We're ordering your dresses. Mr. Schwindt? Mr. Fox?
I just need to see the directors for a minute.
Mrs. Knott? Mrs. Hen? No. All right. Thanks, y'all.
Hey, June.
Sorry, we're 11 minutes over. Y'all know how I feel about that, so I owe y'all 11 minutes.
How many students do we have? I'm sorry. I can ask them that after.
Okay,
We
we're
need to know
good.
how many pamphlets to get.
Bye, y'all. See you at Friday's game. Come help.
She provides the pamphlets. So,
Jen, call me when you get a chance.
She said,
All right.
okay.